You're listening to the Get Out and Surf podcast.
Just like, dude, you get the best barrels ever, dude. Just like, you pull in, and you just get spit
Just
right
paddling out in
of
the big surf, total commitment.
You can't just call time out, stroll on into the beach if you don't like the way things are going.
Occupation?
Surfer.
It turns out that there are still a few places right here on Earth that we haven't fully explored yet.
Is that a job, surfer?
Not really.
And then after that, you just drop in, ride the barrel, and get pitted, so pitted like that.
Hey, this is Joe Walsh bringing you another episode of the Get Out and Surf podcast. This is episode 47, sitting here at the studio upstairs above the brewery, Volcano Brewing Company here in Tamarindo, Costa Rica. I have the same folks I always have with me pretty much. But I got Niki. Niki, welcome back to the show.
Good afternoon.
Here we are. And we've got Patrick. PMAC.
What's up, my schnizzle?
What's going on, dude? Okay. In all seriousness. No, I'm just kidding. No, really, I'm really stoked because this week we've got a very special guest, someone who's been on the podcast before. And I was looking here. It was podcast number 3. Número 3. Paco Vega, you're back on the show. Welcome back to Get Out and Surf, dude.
Thank you. Yeah, pura vida.
Man, so much has happened since episode 3. I mean,
a lot.
Okay, so where did you just come back from? Where did you move to? Where have you been?
Where I've been, okay. I moved to California on March, I think.
March of this year, so about 9 months ago.
Like 9 months ago, to Venice Beach.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been great.
Wow. So
it's
you're
like big change, but yeah.
Okay, so Paco,
surf.
you were an instructor, a guide. You were part of the Witches Rock family. You still are, obviously, but for a long time, you grew up right here. You're from Tamarindo.
Right.
I mean, literally, your whole family's right here, right in Villarreal, like your whole life, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been living here, surf, fishing, everything.
Yeah, so you're one of the local watermen from Tamarindo, and you moved to Venice Beach, Los Angeles.
Right.
So I don't even know where to go from there. So I guess I'm just the first thing that comes to mind is, what are the differences? What's it like in Venice compared to here?
Oh my God. Okay, if we talk about waves, yeah, it's a big change. A lot of closeouts, good days, bad days, but yeah, it's funny because you need like at least like 4 surfboards.
Okay.
Yeah,
Why?
because
like,
the condition change every day.
So what, like a little groveler board?
Yeah, you need like something thick, small, maybe 5'4", and maybe another good shortboard, like a 5'10" for steep, fast waves.
When it picks up a little bit, but
right,
it's still
and
not
then
too
a
big.
fun board, just to have fun,
and
obviously a longboard.
Yeah, you just made it through the summer months, which are pretty miserable. I mean, they're great for weather, obviously, but the waves are pretty small. in Southern California.
Right. Yeah, I try to move around the area, so I do Manhattan, and then I do Malibu, Leo
Really?
Carrillo,
Wait, hold on.
Topanga.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're basically an LA surf local now.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I know people there now.
Okay, so you're living in Venice, though?
Yes.
Okay, and the surf in Venice, that's like pretty much, it's all beach break, right?
Yeah, it's where I surf, it's by the breakwater, I think it calls.
Okay, so you have like a jetty there. Like
yeah, this kind of jetty.
Oh, that's pretty.
So it's a fun wave, It's a fun wave, fast. Yeah, but I prefer to do longboarding over there.
I've never surfed Venice. I've been to Venice. Have any of you guys been to Venice?
I've been to Venice, but I haven't surfed Venice.
Okay, so Venice is like this crazy beach scene, a huge boardwalk where, I mean, so many tourists come to LA, go to Venice because it is such a scene, right? You've got all these street performers. You've got.
Is that where that Muscle Beach?
Yeah,
thing is?
exactly.
Right there.
Yeah.
Right
Okay,
in front. That's
like I
where
said, I've
surf.
never been, but like that's definitely famous for that.
Yes.
Okay, so what's it like in the water, the lineup? What are the people like in Venice? Are they,
Wow, Venice it's crazy because from 100 people you have maybe 5 good longboarders, and maybe the other ones are okay, so they don't care who's has the right of the wave, but the shortboarders, they're good, because it's kind of funky wave, but it's fun, some days are like steep barreling,
Are there like a bunch of like I don't know, like are the same kind of folks that you see on the boardwalk that are performing, or they're like more normal surfers?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have a few in the water.
Really?
Yeah, crazy people like talking to I don't know who, spirits maybe.
Yeah, you got guys in Venice that like juggle chainsaws that are running, you know?
Yeah, dude. It's just I can't even imagine. I know that I mean LA has got so many like millions of people, right? And
right. Yeah.
And you're kind of limited with like your waves. I mean, there's a lot of
It
beach
is,
break, but
it is, yeah. When I surf like more south from Venice, those waves is like a super short ride. You know, you have the drop, steep drop. You barely make the drop, and that's it. You know, so it's a good workout. But if you go north, yeah, it's way better.
okay, so like south of Venice is what, Palos Verdes? That whole
Yes, that's like way in the end by Manhattan, Porto.
Okay,
You know,
right
they're
by
really good.
right by the airport.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we've had so many people that come to Witches Rock Surf Camp here in Tamarindo from Los Angeles area. And have you run into anybody that
Oh, see, yeah.
really?
It's crazy all the time, the time.
Really?
People recognize me, you
Really?
know, and it's funny.
Really?
See people in the water.
In a city full of like
Yeah,
movie
it's
stars and
crazy,
celebrities,
huh?
you're
I
getting
know.
recognized too. You're famous now.
Yeah, probably.
they're like, what the hell are you doing in LA, man?
Yeah,
What,
people go like, "What's wrong with you? What are you doing here?" But I mean, it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay.
How did you get around the change in temperature? I know LA doesn't get cold exactly,
Well,
but
it
I
gets
know.
cold in the winter, mid 50s.
Yeah, have you been through the winter yet? Obviously, would you class March?
No, well, I came like 2 weeks ago, and it was getting cold. I mean, it was kind of
Yeah.
cold weather.
Yeah, it's
if you're
gonna-
standing outside, you know, watching the waves, yeah, you need like a sweater.
Yeah.
But water is
But
probably.
you're wearing a full suit right now?
Yes, I have 2 meals, sprint suit, and 3-2, and a 4-3, obviously.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
No, I know what you're saying there.
I used to wear 3-2 like in high school and college when I lived in San Diego, and now whenever I'm there, it's always just wear a 4-3. I feel
Right,
like
right.
yeah, maybe when you're younger, you're just a little more like hardy. It's all you can afford.
No,
is
when
one
we were in
suit.
England, it was like I had that 3-2, and it was just too cold. And as soon as I got hold of that 5-4, I was like, "Yep, happy.
Yeah.
I can
Right?
yeah, no, absolutely. There's no need to be uncomfortable.
Well, the suits are better too. It's not
yeah.
like 20 years ago where you were like wearing a straight jacket if you put a 5-4 on. Now you can actually move around. So you can't really blame the suit for your lack of surf skills anymore either, though.
No.
Yeah, some days board shorts and just like 2 meals jacket.
Yeah.
You know, those are good days. But now it's getting like full suit 4-3.
Yeah. Okay. So you're like a Venice local now, which is pretty awesome. From Tamarindo to Venice. But you also said so you've been surfing Malibu.
Yeah, I surf Malibu. When the swell, it's probably too small, for Venice. So man, this is an amazing wave. It's an amazing wave. One of the best waves, like longboarder waves that I rode before. Yeah.
Okay. So So I've never surfed Malibu. I know you've surfed Malibu.
I've surfed Malibu. I haven't surfed it since 1987, though.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so, and I grew up in SoCal, but I've always kind of passed by L.A. Only because I know there's so many people there. There's so many cars and traffic. And, like, it's one of those spots where if you know where to go, you're going to find your waves. But, I mean, everything I ever saw growing up at Malibu was, like, Mickey Dora, like, kicking his longboard at people and dudes dropping in on dudes. Like, is it really that chaotic in the lineup at Malibu?
Well, sometimes, some days, like 4 to 6 feet, it gets like really crowded.
Like on a pumping south swell?
Yeah, it's crazy. But the 90% of the people, they're like almost pros.
Really?
So yeah, it's amazing to see all these people like nose riding like perfect.
So like all the best surfers come from all over to surf Malibu when it's firing.
You don't see beginners and Malibu. That's why I like to go over there. To surf.
Everyone surfs pretty good.
Everybody surf.
Okay.
So yeah, you have to be aggressive and the wave to paddle the wave and
Yeah, tell me about it.
And then to stop in case you have somebody obviously on the wave.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing. I mean, people respect, but obviously there are like a few. They always like
Drop in no matter what?
Yeah, they
Really?
don't care.
Yeah.
It's funny because when I talk to people in the water, I ask like where they from, and they like drive like 2 hours away from.
Really?
You know, so these locals come from 2 hours
Was away, yeah.
So it's kind of hard to see who's the local, and you know.
What I noticed when I went there, completely different than what I thought it was going to be. There, on the day that I was there was a little bit of size, and it was kind of like 3 separate peaks that you could surf on. So you could go on the inside, the medium peak, and then there's the way outside. And on real good days, I guess it all comes together.
Yes, I think the sandbar right now, only the first spot works. You know, first point, because the lagoon, they closed the lagoon. Because
really?
Yeah, so there is no more river over there, so the sandbars are not that great
that's
for
a
the
shame.
second or third.
What do you mean they
That's a shame.
closed it? They like sealed it off?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
So
see-
so I talked with some of the old people over there, and I say, well, is this way is working from the third point to the first point? And they go like, no, only the first, because they closed the lagoon.
What a shame. When I was there, that it was, like I said, there was 3 separate places that you could surf. And the river was still there, of course.
Right.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, so and depends on the swell direction. The third and second works, but never connects. You know, because right before I seen pictures of working from the third point all the way to the first point to the pier.
Yeah,
Right
there's
to the pier.
Yeah,
Right.
so
there's
it's
some
amazing.
there's some killer video that I've seen of like Jimmy Gamboa, who I think might be from Venice or either Manhattan Beach nearby, and then also Joel Tudor, like catching waves all the way to the pier, like probably when it was the three points connecting. You ever see those guys out there?
I mean, I surfed with Joel Tudor and his son. Man, it's amazing. They float. They from another world.
Yeah.
I mean, crazy surfing.
Yeah, it's there's some great surfing going on in Southern California, huh?
Yeah, and it's funny because these guys surf with the old boards, like
The old
70s.
logs.
Yeah, the big longboards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, they don't have like these fancy brand new surfboards. They have like a old.
Old school, heavily glassed, single
Right,
fin logs, and they just throw them around
they
and done.
rip. And you know, Joel Tudor, he could surf on a sheet of plywood
Exactly.
with a fin on it, though.
It's
You know.
amazing to see these guys surf over there.
Yeah, there's definitely some killer longboarding going on. It's really cool to see it too. Like I know in England, a bit of a resurgence, like surfers riding these older, more classic longboards. It's not just the thin, progressive style trying to do the biggest turns. Like doing some really soulful fades, really solid cross stepping.
Is it because that's like, because I remember we were talking yesterday, I think, and you were saying how Malibu just literally holds the tail in.
Oh yeah.
So I think the waves definitely have, that's the craft everyone rides at, because that is the kind of wave that works.
It's perfect. It's so perfect. I mean, these are like Ollie's Point.
Do you only?
know? And I surf there like knee high, and it's perfect.
So like
It's crazy.
when it's like not so big at like Venice or Manhattan Beach, you'll actually go to Malibu to surf because it'll
And
be
a
better?
good day, I try to avoid Malibu and Topanga
because everyone's gonna be out.
It's crowded,
Okay.
and you have like from 100, you have like 90 good surfers.
Wow.
You know.
And everyone's on a longboard.
Yes.
So
So that's like insane paddle.
Yeah.
Say.
Wow. I heard that you can surf Malibu at night with the street lights because the road goes right along the way.
Right. Yeah, I never seen that, but yeah, I mean, there's you can do it because the wave's so perfect.
Yeah, I always thought I was incapable of surfing at night, like with my vision. And then we had a full moon last week, and I paddled out at sunset for just a few waves, and the sun went down. Everybody took off, and it seemed to get brighter and brighter.
Wow.
It was crazy. I
Right
don't know,
here,
right in front of the surf camp.
the surf camp.
And I stayed out for another 30 or 45 minutes. I couldn't believe it. It was a really spiritual experience.
Right.
So I think I might try surfing Malibu at night now. I didn't think I don't know. I would have always said, no, I'm not ever going to even try that because I thought that I'd probably be, I'm always seem like the first one that has to go in when it gets dark. But I guess if you've got some decent light, I mean, in Point Break, they shone their headlights out there and surfed at night, right?
You know, I'm hearing
It's a
that I'm hearing that there's still a lot of people in the water at night.
Yeah.
when you can surf at night. Malibu has like a 24-hour. It's like a 7-Eleven, 24-hour spot.
Yeah, no, I got a buddy that grew up in San Fernando Valley surfing Malibu, and he said that you could go there at 2 in the morning, and there'd be people like maybe 8 to 10, even 15 people in the lineup in the middle of the night.
So, I try to go around like 9 because, if you go early, you have like the old guys surfing.
Yeah, we get the dawn patrol crowd.
Yeah, exactly. And then, like I say, like 9 to 12, that's a good time to go because
Everyone's got to go to work.
Yeah, people working.
Yeah.
And the parking situation.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it is.
Do you have to pay to park there?
Yes, every day.
Really? What's it cost?
I think that's like $7 or $9.
Oh my goodness.
Same.
All right, so
Only if you go for an hour.
For an hour?
I mean, you go. This pass is for the whole day.
Okay, I see.
But obviously, you don't want to spend the whole day over there.
I was,
which people do that in Malibu. People, man, they go like from 6 in the morning through 7 p.m.
like the Malibu parking lot right there.
Right. Yeah.
That's where it costs.
So yeah, I know these people. They always get the band right there.
Yeah.
And they just
bring their laptop and do their work in their van.
Crazy.
Have like.
And now I know like maybe 15 or 20 guys. They're always there.
Yeah.
You know?
So
it's kind of interesting. It's fun.
So tell me about the lineup in California. How's it different from Costa Rica? Is it more aggro or not?
Well, I think here is more like people try to help you on the water. If you see somebody doing something wrong, you will say like you should do this. But in California, forget it. Yeah, forget it. So only if you go with a friend, obviously. But yeah, people are aggressive, but in just the way to surf and paddle. They never say, I'm going left, you're going right now. I'm just going. Especially Topanga. Topanga, it's a fun spot, but it's like it's a lot of locals,
So not like people necessarily smiling and saying hi to each other.
No.
Pretty much.
People just like not smiling. I mean, they're just like surfing.
I always thought that was kind of weird because isn't surfing's this awesome thing where we're all like just trying to have some fun and.
Of course.
That's exactly what I kind of experienced when we were in San Diego, and it wasn't as though people were unfriendly, but it was definitely competitive out there, and it wasn't. It's obviously different sort of like lineup because it was much more of a beach break. But if you were in the spot, you got the wave. There wasn't a lot of dropping in, but there wasn't a lot of communication either. Like sometimes you'll be here, it's like you're like, mate, man, let's get it. Like let's say like, are you going left? Are you going right? Oh, and you can kind of communicate.
Right.
There's a little bit more kind of more humility in the water out here as well. And plus, it's easy to see who's a local and who's not a local here, if you know what I mean, in the lineup. Whereas it's a lot more difficult in California because imagine you got a lot of people who call themselves transplants who have moved there, so it's a little harder to sort of get settled into a lineup in California.
Well, everybody wants their piece of the real estate. They have a limited amount of time to be in the water, so they want to go out there and get their wave. And
they
and
don't want to make friends.
But so, like, if you're in the way, you're in the way.
Especially that dawn patrol crew, because they're getting out there to get their waves before they go to work. So they have like an hour or an hour and a half, and they're just like they're banging it out, and it's like it's on. They got guys, I'm sure, because I know San Diego is like this. I'm sure Malibu is like this. That as soon as you can even see, as soon as it's gotten from dark to it's like that, whatever 5:15, 5:30, whatever time it's starting to get light. There's already dudes in the water, or they're suited up, waiting to like see the waves to catch them.
And there's wave rage, just like there's road rage. Like sometimes you'll have a guy who's a computer analyst and never would say crap if he had his mouth full behind the wheel of a car. He's screaming and yelling and honking a horn. You get the same thing in the water.
Yeah,
true.
Like the guy might be the nicest guy in the world, but you take off on him and that's it. You've had it.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of hostility maybe at Malibu.
Yeah,
something?
But I mean, like for me, that I grew up here as a Tico, we try to smile, to people and say good morning and blah blah. But some people is like they just like they don't talk much. But when you say like good morning, they change.
Yeah,
they
sure.
try to talk a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta.
But most of the time, people they just like focus on 10 waves. But as soon as you say hi, you know, that change.
That's a kind of like city mentality as well, if you know what I mean. Like here, most of Costa Rica feels like a small town. So, you know, you say hello to your neighbors, you say good morning to people, you're going down the street, you get to a city, and everyone's just got their head down and
they
focused on
they
what
look
they're
you
doing.
weird, you know, they look weird to you because you say hi, and not many people say hi to you in the morning, you know. But I mean, it's great. I like it.
Yeah. So besides surfing, what's so different about living in LA versus here? Like, what do you think of the food? What do you think?
Food is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gained like a few pounds in the first weeks.
Yeah, it's hard not to.
But
The
dude,
US
the portions are so massive.
yeah.
They're huge.
What's your favorite food up there that you're getting? What's your favorite, like, is it Mexican food?
No, it's a Cuban restaurant.
Oh, really?
Yes, I love it.
Really?
Yeah, it's amazing.
All right.
It's a Cuban restaurant, so we try to order online or we go there. But Mexican food, yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
on the street, you know, cars. But yeah, it's amazing.
What about like Soup Plantation or any of those places where it's all you can eat? You ever do those?
No.
No?
No, I don't. I never. I mean, the hardest part in LA is the driving.
Yeah.
So LA is so flat and huge. So if you have to find like a restaurant or something, you have to drive like, you know, hour because traffic.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. In Venice, they have like a great restaurants.
Oh, Denny's.
Like Venice Beach.
Oh, in Venice.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So they have like a great restaurant. That's why we moved there, because it was like the best, you know.
Yeah,
in
so you
LA.
can actually be close to the beach. You can be
Exactly.
close to the like social side of things as well, and you don't have to jump in a
Yeah,
car
if
for
you
an
go
hour.
like north from Santa Monica, too fancy, you know. It's a different kind of people. If you go like south, or I mean, depends which way you go. It's different people. But I think like Venice Beach is more like neutral, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably kind of like Mission Beach in San Diego. It's like got the big boardwalk. It's when people that come from outside of LA, they want to come see like the California like beach scene, they'll go there.
Right. Yeah, they have to walk Hollywood first, you know.
Oh, sure. See
and
the,
then
Yeah, I've done that.
so yeah. Have you done that? Have you gone and checked out the stars?
yeah, but years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
None
my
of this-
first trips. No, now. Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess
that was my only memory of. I was running past. I was getting chased by this guy who was trying to sell me a gold chain for $1, and I was like 13, and I was so freaked out. I was like, I don't, you know, and that was my lasting memory of LA and just traffic.
Yeah, there really is a lot of people there.
Yeah. What else are you getting up to? And it obviously says there's more to do than just surfing. Like, have you got into doing anything else?
Golf.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All
Play
right.
golf right there.
Oh, you were playing golf before, though, too, right?
Same.
Yeah. So how's your game? Getting pretty good?
Getting better.
I see a picture of you holding a big trout too, like a big fish.
Yeah. We do part-time Idaho, Sun Valley, and it's amazing.
Oh,
I
wow.
mean, when California is too crowded and too hot, Idaho is the place.
Just cruise up to Idaho, go
So
catch
you'll
some
be
fish.
skiing in Idaho.
Yeah, right now it's the ski season.
Isn't that where Gordon Gamble is from?
Yeah, that's right.
In Sun Valley, Idaho.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Sun Valley Brewing Company.
Yeah, he helped us when we set up the first brewery system here that we had in Tamarindo. He's from Sun Valley. There's a lot of good beer up there.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of good.
That's what I heard. I am not a beer guy, but I heard there's like a gray beer right there.
Yeah, Idaho's pretty rad. I mean, I got family in Montana, and we always drive through Idaho and like Coeur d'Alene. My folks always stop over there. They think they love that town.
So where in Idaho are you?
Sun Valley.
Yeah, you ever been there,
Sun
Ben?
Valley. No,
No?
haven't been to Idaho.
Yeah,
Man, me neither, but I've heard it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, that's
Like,
what-
So
stunning.
beautiful.
That's-
Hikes, you know, fly fishing,
yeah, that's where
mountain bike.
Evil Knievel jumped over the
Right.
the what is it, the Snake River? What's that called?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was right there.
Your dad told me he was friends with Evil Knievel. Is
I
that
met
true?
yeah, well, I actually met Evil Knievel when I was a kid because I have all of my mom went to high school in Butte, Montana. That's where Evil Knievel's from. It's where my uncle, my cousins, I got a bunch of family there to this day. And before Evil passed away, every year they had the Evil Days every summer, and so we would go up there for Evil Days, and they'd have like all these dudes in motocross bikes doing all these like stunts, big jumps, like BMX and skate ramp, like shit going on. It was really cool. That whole part, you know, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho.
Yeah, those are great places.
They really are.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful and rugged. It gets so cold in the winter,
Oof.
and you really, oh
yeah,
man,
I never seen so much snow in my life.
yeah.
No, I imagine the you skiing or snowboarding?
Skiing. I almost died snowboarding.
What?
Yeah, I tried, but it was too hard.
Really?
Yes, it was crazy.
Oh come on, you got to give it another shot. It's like surfing. You got to go.
That's what all the people say. Yeah, if you surf, you snowboard. I say, well,
I
I think it's easier.
I prefer to ski.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, snowboarding is you're doing everything off your front foot, aren't you?
Well, I mean, you definitely you pivot off your front foot, but like when you turn, it feels like cutting back on a surfboard. Really, I mean, it's
just when you got.
I've never skied though, so
when
I
you've
can't
got the
compare.
parabolic skis, obviously the earlier skis were just really not that easy to ski with. But then as soon as you got the new sort of like parabolic line, they're just like
Right.
butter.
You know what scares me about the snowboarding?
What?
It's like to be attached to the board. You know,
Yeah.
and surfing for me, I always move my back and front foot, and
Yeah.
I adjust my 45 degrees or whatever on my front foot. But with the snowboard, you're there.
Yeah, but it
And
makes it
that's
easier
when-
when you're jumping. Like if I try to
Yeah,
skate,
only if you jump, to get
Yeah,
speed.
If you're falling, that's not fun, though.
Yeah,
you know?
no.
It's not, well, you know what?
'Cause
Falling when you surf is just a lot easier once you figure out how to do it right and not hit your board. And then like snowboarding hurts a little more,
Yeah,
especially if the
risk.
snow is like, you know, I've broken a wrist, I've broken a collarbone.
Right.
You know, but you know, skating is still the most hardcore. When you fall on concrete, there's just no forgiveness there.
No, they ain't.
Yeah, it's a big change, you know, Idaho.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I feel comfortable over there because, you know, Costa Rica, green, you know, big mountains over there. Here it's smaller, but people are friendly. It's nice.
So you had Jonathan Blackie come and visit.
Yes, finally somebody visit me. I've been telling my friends to visit, but everybody's obviously busy.
I didn't think you really meant it. I was gonna come hang out and like, you know, stay for like a month, and then I thought, you know what, maybe Paco doesn't really mean that.
Yeah, Blackie was visiting. It was fun to see, you know,
Yeah.
somebody from town.
Yeah. What do you
Yeah.
think? Had you ever been to LA before?
No, that was the first time for Blackie in LA.
Yeah.
See,
You know what he told me? He said, he goes, you know, people come down here and they see, you know, like people are in the bushes like camping and they're afraid of them. He goes, but everywhere in LA, you have all these hobos living on the street. He goes, how come that isn't dangerous?
Yeah, you definitely on the beach, and definitely like in Skid Row. I don't know if you ever saw that part of LA, but I mean, people from all over go to LA because the weather's so nice, and then,
And they
you
can
know,
live outside.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, it's getting kind of tricky, you know, and crazy, the homeless situation over there.
yeah,
Yeah, it is.
yeah. Well, I guess if I was gonna be homeless, I don't want to live on the beach too, though. So I mean,
True. True.
Yeah, those guys in Hawaii looked real happy when we were there.
Yeah, the last time I was in L.A., that's when the Deadheads were like living in Venice. They'd all group up in Venice Beach, and then when there was a concert, they'd all take off from Venice Beach. So you've had people living on the beach in California for years and years.
yeah, like Fletch. Remember that movie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fletch.
See?
All right, so Paco, you're back here in Tamarindo. You've been gone for 9 months. There's got to be some things that you were missing about Costa Rica. What were they? What were you missing when you were up in LA? Now that you're here, what, like,
Well, first my family, obviously,
yeah, for
and
sure.
then my dog.
Yeah,
Yeah, the ranch, and then the beach.
yeah,
Yeah, friends.
yeah, for sure. What about food? You missed the casado?
Well, I tried to do my casados over there, so
So
yeah, no, food is fine. I'm good with food over there.
yeah,
You know, Mexican is gonna close, but yeah, sometimes I miss my casados here.
yeah. Was there like a surf spot here that you really missed surfing that you've been able to go back and surf at?
Here,
Yeah, like what, like Tamarindo Beach or like Grande or I don't know, Little Hawaii or
I
something?
think Marbella.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss Marbella.
Did you get down there this week?
No,
Not yet?
I've been busy in the ranch.
Oh, okay.
The first week, you know, I was trying to hide.
Yeah, riding horses.
Yeah, over there, like working fences and, you know,
Yeah,
helping my dad. But now I'm done with all this stuff. So that's why I'm come to Tamarindo to surf a little bit.
I heard Marbella was actually pretty good last couple of days.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
you should see if you can jump in on one of the trips before you leave, you know?
Right.
Because they're probably going to go there, you know? But definitely, I think we got room for you.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, man.
Pura vida.
Well, you got any shout outs you want to give? Anybody that you want to say hey to while you're on the podcast?
Yeah, I have a good friends. All clients from the first when you open the camp back in Idaho.
Yeah.
Donna and Stu.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I always
yeah,
visit
yeah,
this couple every
way.
time that I go there.
Oh, that's great. They're awesome people.
Oh yes, they always have like these stories with the drivers and the boat drivers. The sorry when you get the sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the boat?
Yeah.
And those trips to Witches Rock and
Yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah.
Zori stories.
Yes, I know. So yeah, it's fun. It's always fun to see these people, and obviously in LA, I have like great crew over there.
Yeah.
They always see.
Well, cool, man. It's rad for you to come back and get back on the podcast. You know, the
Pura vida.
episode you were on has been one of our most like popular episodes ever because so many people like ride bigger boards, longboards. They want to size down to a shorter board,
Right.
and it was really valuable insight in episode 3. Is that right? Was that right? Is that episode 3?
Yeah.
It was, yeah. But really, you talked about having multiple boards living in somewhere like LA,
Right.
so you shouldn't really that just goes to show that you shouldn't just be riding one particular board because the conditions really, like you can't really paddle out on a shortboard at Malibu when everyone else is on a longboard and
Exactly.
it's a perfect longboard
Speed.
wave.
You need speed. You
Right.
have to move fast.
Yeah.
So you need something thick.
Yeah, and then if you're surfing like
Floating.
Manhattan Beach and it's like head high plus and really fast and
Exactly.
punchy, you probably don't want that longboard.
No.
You probably want that shortboard.
Yeah, and always seeing people. They always like bring the longboard every day,
Yeah.
and the next day it's probably big and steep.
Mm-hmm.
And they say like, well, I should bring my, I say, dude, just bring 2 boards. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy, and now I understand because most of my friends and clients from California, they have these Quiver 7, 8 boards, and I was told like, why so many boards, But now obviously I understand
Yeah.
because conditions change a lot.
Mm.
So yeah, if you're riding only 1 or 2 boards, you get frustrated in a small day or a big day.
Yeah, that's some wisdom. So if you haven't listened to episode 3, you should go back. It was very early on the podcast, but a very, very popular and very good episode simply because so many people want that insight as to how to either downsize or really, I think the message is you shouldn't just surf one board. You should be open to surfing the conditions. So if it's longboard conditions, grab a longboard. If it's shortboard, you can grab a shortboard, and if you just want to ride one board, that's cool. But it really opens your surfing world to be able to change your craft.
Exactly. Yeah, you try to understand pretty much the board.
Yeah.
Because when you're using one board, you don't know if you're doing something wrong or is the wave, or the conditions. So changing boards is really important because they give you more speed, or you turn quicker, all those kind of stuff.
Yeah. Hey, here's a question for you before we go. Have you run into any celebrities since you've been living in LA? Like anyone from TV or the movies, or I don't know.
Yeah, always.
Really?
Always we see people. When Blackie, we went to NBA game.
Oh, okay.
With Blackie.
You saw the Lakers or the Clippers?
The Clippers.
Okay.
And we saw this guy Sanders, the actor, like a comedy.
Adam Sandler?
Adam.
Really?
Yeah.
He surfs.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, he's a surfer. I don't know how good he is, but I definitely know he surfs.
Yeah, and then I seen like people with bodyguards around, so they're famous.
don't know who they are, but like, yeah.
And you have like these girls or guys, with 3 cameras around, so
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. TMZ or whatever.
Yeah,
Just trying to-
it's crazy. It's crazy.
That's funny. Well, cool, man. Hey, thanks so much for being on the show.
Pura vida, pura vida.
Let you get back there to the lifeguard tower. You put in a couple hours there in the tower?
Yeah, I was like, taking having support to the guys over there.
That's great, man.
So they don't get bored.
Yeah, man. We'll get back to it, and maybe we'll catch a surf. At
Yeah,
least
pura
get
vida.
down
You
to-
have to come to Venice, guys, to surf.
I'm
Definitely.
gonna be in Venice in like 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a buddy who has a restaurant there. He's been trying to get me to come check it out. I'm definitely gonna come look you up now.
For sure. I
Yeah.
will be there.
Okay, you can you can hook me up with the local crew.
See,
I'm gonna
of course.
That's kind of weird. I'm gonna use my Costa Rican friend Pako, who's transplanted to Venice, to kind of get my in with the local scene in the Venice.
So you
or
can
Malibu.
get waves for good waves.
Cool, man. Well, thanks again.
Pura vida.
Pura
Pura
vida.
vida.
Before we go, we have the Show Us Your Sunset contest. Hashtag Show Us Your Sunset. That's on Instagram. You got to follow us at Get Out and Surf. Give us your best sunset or sunrise. You could win a Witches Rock Surf Camp t-shirt. Every month we're giving one away. And then at the end of this year, each monthly winner is in a drawing to win a free trip to Witches Rock Surf Camp. It's going to be sweet. You can send us an email, getoutandsurfcr@gmail.com. Pura vida. Thanks for listening to the Get Out and Surf podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Witches Rock Surf Camp, located beachfront in Tamarindo, Costa Rica. If you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe to the show. You can do that on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, etc. And if you like the show, give us a review on iTunes. That would be great. That's it. We'll see you next week, same place, same time, with another episode of Get Out and Surf. Pura vida y nos vemos.